Alright, today we are going to talk about unit rates. We are starting a new chapter. So I'm going to go to the front. My table of contents. Make sure you fill yours out. I've done a terrible job. I'm on page 20. And we are talking about unit rates. We have a couple of vocabulary words. First one is rate, R-A-T-E. R-A-T-E, rate. A rate is a comparison between two numbers. Yep. So we're going to compare two different types of numbers. So it's a ratio comparing two types, kinds of example is like miles per hour. So you're comparing your miles to your hours. So if I was going, I don't know, from your practice it was like 300 miles in 5 hours. Trying to be realistic. And we can write this as a ratio by saying 300 miles in 5 hours or 5 hours in 300 miles. This is not a fraction as long as you label it. This is miles, this is hours. This is hours, this is miles. Alright, the other one is unit rate. This is comparing to one denominator. Denominator. Those are our two words. Alright, steps. Step 1. Identify your two numbers. What you're comparing. What two things you are comparing. So if I had like, let's pick one off the homework, but not for everybody. $360 miles in 6 hours. 360 miles in 6 hours. What two things are you comparing? What two values? So it's 360 miles in 6 hours. Those are the two things. Easy enough. Step 2. Write it as a ratio. first number goes on top. So this is the first. It becomes the numerator. This is second. It becomes the denominator. I'm going to leave it like that because step 3 is going to be to simplify so it's a 1 on the bottom. Or you just divide. Depending on what you're working with, you might just divide. Because if I'm traveling 360 miles in 6 hours, how much am I going to travel in 1 hour? How much in 1 hour? Because that would be a unit rate. And since I'm dealing with unit rates today, I would divide, to reduce, I could divide the bottom by 6 and the top by 6, which is just dividing the top divided by 6. So 360 divided by 6, 6, 0, 60. So it's 60 miles per 1 hour. Or you have 60 miles per hour. When you see divide like this line is per or in. So up here, 60 miles in, that means the ratio sign. Or divide. So it would be 360 on top, fraction bar, ratio bar, 6 hours. Okay? Alright, here's your homework. You might want to pause it and write this down. And then get your book out and let's look at question 17. We're going to do question 17 together. Alright. Circle the information that you know. Michaela and her friends earn money babysitting after school. At the end of 1 week, they deposit their weekly earnings at the bank. Which friend earns the most money per hour babysitting? This is what I know. That's what I know. Underline what the problem is asking you to find. That's what I need to know. The most money. Okay? Now, plan. What will you need to do to solve the problem? Write your plan in steps. So, I'm going to have to erase this. And then scroll down. What will you need to do to solve the problem? Calculate the blank for each person. That's going to be unit rate. Calculate the unit rate for each person. Step 2, compare the unit rates to determine. So this is going to be unit rate. Compare the unit rates to determine blank earns the most. Who earns the most? Alright, step 3. Use your plan to solve the problem, show your steps. Look, it has it written out. So, Michaela is this much divided by 15. Because Michaela earned 138.75 right here per hours. So I need to work all that out down here. I like this better. So this is in the box. So it's 138.75 divided by 15. 15 can't go into 13, but it can go into 138. 8 times. That would be 40, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, nope, it'd be 9. And that would be 135. That's 3, 7, much easier. The decimal goes straight up. That would be 2. That's 30, 75. And that would be 5. Yep, 5. That'd be 25, 7. So Michaela earns $9.25 per hour. Gail is going to be 136.50 divided by 13. This is going to be 1. Finish that one. Gail comes out to 1050. That's 0, 0. Tell me how much Jason earns. Fill this in. It was also 1050. Now Cecilia. It's 1125. So who earns the most? Cecilia earns $11.25 per hour, which is the greatest unit rate. So the correct answer is whatever Cecilia is. Now, I want you to justify and evaluate. How do you know you're right? How could you prove this? How can you go backwards and prove it?